So Zach, Z-A-C-H, Rash, R-A-S-H, and it's vet box containers. It has started growing, and we've been staying consistently in the 444% range.
It's unbelievable. So you're up 444%, and for
We
somebody
are.
out there that says, I don't know if that's possible. Let me break down what we're doing, what you're doing. So first off, you sell homes. So you sell. You build homes. Tell the
We
listeners out there, what do you build? I got some photos here. Tell the listeners, what do you build? What do you sell? So people can get some context there.
Yeah, so just your standard shipping containers you see running down the railways, the big port yards, everything. So we sell those, lease them out for rent, storage, everything else. But our main niche and what we're built around is doing custom container homes. And we've, from your container homes to your coffee shops to your off the grid cabins, your short term rentals, Airbnbs. We're currently working on some right now down for Lake Eufaula for a client. And, so if you can think it and imagine it with a shipping container box, we modify it and build it right here on our location here in Claremore, Oklahoma.
Whether you're in building these container homes or you're selling any kind of product or service, you have to know your numbers. And when you were telling me today, you said, Clay, I'm up 444%. You wouldn't know that if you weren't tracking your numbers. So I want to ask you, what do you say to somebody out there that's an entrepreneur that maybe is newer to the importance of tracking their numbers? What would you say?
Man, I'll be honest with you. At first, I got it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is overwhelming. I'm going to pound my head against the desk. What? Why do I need all these numbers? I did not understand it myself at the beginning, and now here we are, full circle, a full year working your system and seeing how great our growth has been phenomenal because I can literally go and look week by week and see what our growth is, what our revenues been, what our expenses have been, and it's like, okay, there is reasoning behind this madness, and it's been such an eye opening experience doing that, and the tracking sheet is so important, because I'm just a small town blue collar worker, and I've had the visions, I have the knowledge to do this stuff, but I didn't have the marketing means to go about it, and that's when I got in touch with you.
And again, for anybody out there that may have missed it, so I talk to our listeners all the time, Zach, and some people say, Clay, I turned on your podcast here today. And I didn't hear the first third of the show because I was driving and I went through the drive through and then I had you on mute for therapeutic reasons, but then I tuned back in. How much have you grown? For anybody out there that just is really, like, again, so somebody's going, what did you say? How much have you grown, sir?
444% in 1 year.
If you want to get a similar result as somebody who's having success, you probably would want to follow that recipe. You'd want to follow the proven system, you know? So if you said,
Absolutely.
wow, McKenna's dessert item was awesome at the Christmas party. I would like to make a similar item for my family. You'd want to figure out what was the recipe? How did you do it? And you want to replicate that. And what's great is you're following the systems. Now, box number 4, you got to make sure that your company stands out in the clutter of commerce. And this is a part that can be a little maddening. It can be a little frustrating. It can make your head explode. Even to communicate it right now, it could make my head explode. But in order to stand out, people have to find you online. And so when
Yep.
people go and they type in shipping containers, let's type in shipping container, okay, shipping container, Homes, Oklahoma. When we type that in, your website consistently comes up in the top result or near the top of result and results.
Mhm.
And you got 4 ingredients that go into making this result. You got to provide video clips. You got to get images. We're writing search engine content, and then we got to get more Google reviews every single week. VISM,
Yep.
VISM, videos, images, search engine, more Google reviews over and over and over. And my understanding is eventually, or recently, maybe I'm wrong. I think you had a AI recommended you. Somebody was looking for using AI to find a shipping container home provider, and then I think AI or an AI suggested you. Maybe I'm getting that wrong,
Yep.
Zach.
No, you're right. They used ChatGPT, and they said, top container home builder in Oklahoma, and that's how they got in contact with us. And that project is one that you're showing some of the photos on. So we took it from her vision of a short-term rental investment property on Lake Eufaula, to dealing with our design team and getting our full renderings and everything. And then we put it into production. And it's all because of all the content information and all the video feeds and the reviews and the video up or the photo uploads that we get coached on every week, saying, "Hey, let's make sure we got these. Let's make sure we got these." And there's reasoning behind it, and those seeds that were planted, now we're starting to harvest fruit from it.
Well, folks, on today's show, I have a success story, and I'm going to share with you a lot of examples, and it's going to be awesome. But I want to just share with you, this is a man who he served in the military. He's a guy who has grown his business. We were talking about it this morning. He's up 444%. And I'm not just saying that because I like the number 4. I'm not trying to make an urgent message. There's no code to it. It's just that's the number. He's up 444%. Zach Rash, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thank you, Clay. Appreciate it, man.
Now, I'm going to pull up your website here, so give me just a second. I'm going to pull it up, folks. I'm pulling the website, and I encourage everyone to pull up the website, too, and assume that I'm making this up. The website is vetboxcontainers.com.
Yeah.
Your web address is vetboxcontainers.com. That's the website, vetboxcontainers.com. I'm going to look at some of your work here. And as we do, if you could just share with us kind of what we're looking at here. So this image here, what is this there, Zach?
So this one here is just a staging for like the preliminary beginning phase. So once you give us your order and tell exactly how you want to customize it, we go in, we frame it out. We put in closed cell spray foam. We run all the electric where it needs to be. Modify all the framed openings, weld them up, seal them up, watertight them, and then get them ready for you. This one here is a construction office that's was delivered out into Tulsa. They didn't need a brick and mortar location. They just needed something that they could move around, and so this worked great for them. This just we do all the framing. There's some specifics that we have to do to keep the moisture break and everything. So there's some reasoning for some of that stuff. But then we use a closed cell spray foam that helps as that and does that vapor barrier for us to protect it from any of your condensations and things. And then depending on what all we're doing to it, we have engineers that structural engineers that we'll send the job to. They'll sign off on exactly what we need to do to it as far as reinforcement for the box. And then we do all the in-house modifications for it and then finish it out. This one here is our 3-man hunting cabin. It's great bunkhouse, off the grid, 50 amps of service, runs it. This is the one that we're doing right now. We're actually building 4 of these identical, and we are in the process of working on those in our warehouse here in Claremore.
So, McKenna, if you were thinking about buying one of these container homes, what question would you have or questions would you have for Zach?
For Zach, I would say... Wait, I'm sorry.
I mean, if you were thinking about buying one of these container homes, what question or questions would you have for Zach?
Why would I buy one of these?
So that's a great question. Basically, I tell folks, one, unlike an RV, you don't have to worry. They're a lot more stable. You don't have to worry about your roof dilapidating on you. So we have a lot of guys that will buy these and want to put them out on their hunting lease. And where an RV, it's not secured. We have special blinds that we can put over in shelters or shade covers to put over your windows, so it's secured. But they're more durable. They're easy access, and they're really they're maintenance free. You don't have to worry about the exterior of them or anything of that nature. And if you're using it as a long term or a short term, if you want to lock it up and walk away from it, you can, because of how we design different things with it. We can make them where they're fully secured, so you can leave them for days or months on end.
Now, I'm going to pull up again the steps whenever we work with clients to help a client grow the business. There's multiple steps you have to go through. And Zach, I really wanted to tap into your wisdom or experience for anybody out there that maybe wants to know about this. I mean, step number one, you have to know your revenue goals, and then you have to know your break even point. I want to encourage everybody out there. It's super possible. And Zach, we've had the pleasure to work with your good friend Paul. And
Yep.
it's been fun because I think as Paul has grown his business, he's been able to sort of mentor you about what he's been learning. And I think it's a really neat relationship. Box number 3, you got to figure out how many hours per week you're willing to work. And just to not to brag on Zach too much, but this is real. You're willing to do whatever it takes. And so
I'm all
we've
in.
never had to have a conversation about, well, Zach, you got to be motivated to wake up on time. I mean, you're a hard worker. What do you say to somebody out there that wants to be a business owner but wants to sleep until noon? What do you say?
You're not going to make it. There's going to become a time in a season where you might be able to do that. But if you want your company to grow and you want to own your company and your company not own you, you've got to put in that hard work at the beginning. You've got to make those sacrifices. I'm still taking time off and being there at my kids' events, so my kids aren't like missing out on dad time. But if my kids are asleep and I'm awake, I'm in my office, and there's no reason for it, to have the excuse of I don't have enough time. And so
Now, Zach,
that's
we might have lost your camera feed. That wasn't a passive aggressive thing on my part. Where you're back now.
yep. Now,
Okay,
okay,
back to you.
yep. Something popped up there. My bad. So, but yeah, so it's you've got to make your priorities, and yes, you can get lost in it. It's like, oh, I'm doing good, and you see the account starting to shift in a higher direction, and you know you got to stay to the grind, and you just got to keep going after that goal that you set and said, these are the numbers I want to smash by the end of the year.
Now, I'll say this. McKenna, she won the dessert award this year at the office. We have a dessert for best dessert. And, a lot of people get the recipe and they say, hell with the recipe. I'll make it up as I go. And maybe that's what McKenna did. I don't know. Maybe she followed a recipe. Maybe she didn't. But I think what I want to communicate with this example is if you want to get a similar result as somebody who's having success, you probably would want to follow that recipe. You'd want to follow the proven system, So if you said,
Absolutely.
wow, McKenna's dessert item was awesome at the Christmas party. I would like to make a similar item for my family. You'd want to figure out what was the recipe? How did you do it? And you want to replicate that. And what's great is you're following the systems. Now, box number 4, you got to make sure that your company stands out in the clutter of commerce. And this is a part that could be a little maddening. It could be a little frustrating. It could make your head explode. Even to communicate it right now, it could make my head explode. But in order to stand out, people have to find you online. And so
Yep.
when people go and they type in shipping containers, let's type in shipping container, Homes, Oklahoma. When we type that in, your website consistently comes up in the top result or near the top of result.
Mhm.
And you got 4 ingredients that go into making this result. You got to provide video clips. You got to get images. We're writing search engine content. And then we got to get more Google reviews every single week. VISM, videos, images, search engine, more Google reviews over and over and over. And my understanding is eventually, or recently, maybe I'm wrong, I think you had a AI recommended you. Somebody was looking for using AI to find a shipping container home provider, and then I think an AI suggested you. Maybe I'm getting that wrong.
Yeah,
Zach.
no, you're right. They used ChatGPT, and they said top container home builder in Oklahoma, and that's how they got in contact with us. And that project is one that you're showing some of the photos on. So we took it from her vision of a short-term rental investment property on Lake Eufaula, to dealing with our design team and getting our full renderings and everything. And then we put it into production. And it's all because of all the content information and all the video feeds and the reviews and the video up or the photo uploads that we get coached on every week saying, hey, let's make sure we got these. Let's make sure we got these. And there's reasoning behind it. And those seeds that were planted, now we're starting to harvest fruit from it.
Now, McKenna, you work with great clients, some of which are maybe newer to this information. They're newer. They want the results that Zach has, but they are newer to learning this. What question would you have for Zach on behalf of any of your clients that are just learning the routine of videos, images, search engine, or Google reviews? What would you say?
Yeah, so even though it might be really annoying that we continue to ask you for it each week, how did you kind of push through that annoyingness of us just consistently hammering the videos, images, and reviews each week to get where you're at?
So Clay's famous love, kick, love. I'm going to love you. I'm going to kick you, and I'm going to love you again. So it's that consistency of having that coach to keep mentoring you and say, hey, you know what, you're doing good, but at the same time, what the heck, And it's just it's getting that set up to do that, and just making it a habit, putting it in your phone as a reminder. Hey, I've got to upload 3 photos today. I've got to upload a video today. And it's just setting those reminders to make sure that that's being accomplished, so you don't get lost in your normal business dealings. Like myself, I've got a couple businesses, so it's real easy to say, "Oh, I didn't do it today. I'll make sure I do it tomorrow." No, my day's not done until it happens.
Powerful stuff there. Now, again, folks, I'm going back to this workflow. These are the 14 steps, okay? So box number 5, we got to have great branding. We're always working on great branding. Box number 6, you have to have a 3-legged marketing stool. You have to have a stable way in which you reach out to your clients. It can't just be word of mouth. It can't just be Google. It's got to be 3 different ways you're reaching your ideal and likely buyers. Box number 7, you've got to call your customers. You have to have a sales process, the ultimate sales machine. You have to build a sales system, a sales process. How do you follow up with people? How do you give them the bid? How do you give them the quote? How do you close the deal? Box number 8, you got to make sure you're making money. So you have to track those results. We talked about it earlier. Box number 9, you have to have repeatable systems. Now, when it comes to building these homes, I know that's your specialty. You build things and you build things well. It seems like a lot of these steps don't involve actually building anything. How relieved are you when you finally get to build something, Zach? I mean, how much joy do you take in the actual building of things?
Oh, I love it. I mean, that's to see it going from a computer image or a piece of paper, to actually there's something I can touch, I can feel, I can see, I can smell, And one of the guys came in the shop earlier yesterday, and you could just smell the iron of the cutting of all the iron he was cutting and stuff. And I was like, that's a beautiful smell. And my office manager, she goes, "You're sick." And I'm like, I love it, but I love it. And,
I love
and
this.
yeah. And there's a lot of times that, even as the business owner, there's times I'm like, it's therapeutic to me. I go out there in the shop and I may work till 8, 9 o'clock at night because my kids have got some event going, and they're not even at home. So they're not missing dad. So I'm in the shop working on it also. And it's therapeutic to me.
And again, I think almost every entrepreneur we know, I mean, there's something they love doing, and they might not love the other aspects of building the business, but they love the thing they do. I think about one of our great clients, Beloved Cheesecakes. I'll pull up the website there, belovedcheesecakes.com. Her company is up dramatically. I don't want to make up the numbers, but she's up at least 10 times more than when we first met her. And she loves delivering cheesecakes, making cheesecakes, wowing her customers. I don't know that she's a big fan of workflows and checklists and processes and VISM and videos, images, search engine, more Google reviews. But again, she does it. She has the growth. It's awesome stuff. Box number 10, you got to manage people. Managing people, Zach, I want to get your thoughts on managing people, because I think most business owners that I know like people, but they don't like to manage people. They like people, but they don't like to manage people. And I'm going to let McKenna ask you a follow-up question as well. But what do you say to somebody out there? Because again, most people I know like people, but they don't like to manage people.
I'm slam my hand in the door. I mean, it's great, but then you do sometimes, and then I've really gone back to your system. I love them. Hey guys, you're doing really good, but you know what are we doing? Why is this taking so long? Or what, help me understand this. And, I'm not a micromanager. And so I really let my team in the shop come with some ideas. And sometimes they work, and sometimes I'm like, let's stick to the program, And but finding the right people, it's I may interview, 15 people to find that one, or I might hire 5 for that one position and let them weed themselves out. You've got to find that right person for that position, and that makes all the difference in the world. Even on the staffing, the office level, and you and I've seen that with our numbers working with Sean. We had one lady; she did great in certain areas, but other areas it not. And now we have Emily in here, and she's killing it. And it shows by the numbers.
Right.
It does. And you can go to the numbers and you can see that, because there are things that say, okay, these are not options. This is part of your job description. So sometimes you have to have them hard conversations, and they can take it either as a chewing, or they can take it as a corrective criticism and realize, hey, this is what you hired me for. This is what I'm going to do.
And again, just to be clear, for anybody who may have blacked out during the first half of the show, first 2/3 of the show, you said you've grown how much?
444%.
I'm telling you, folks, you can do it. Now, McKenna, you work with great clients that maybe need some coaching on how to manage people. What follow-up question would you have for Zach on managing people?
Yeah, so I kind of have a few questions maybe, but how is the group interview implemented, like a difference in
How's the interview process? How is the process of and again, for anybody who doesn't know the language there, we encourage all of our clients to constantly interview people so you're never stuck with Beavis or Butthead in your office. So I'll take some of the nomenclature out of it, but how has the process of never stopping recruiting or interviewing people fixed or changed or your business?
So I never understood the group interview until I came and shadowed some of yours there at your location, to really wrap my head around that. And so we started doing that here. And what we do is we'll set up and we'll advertise on different platforms that we're accepting applications or what have you. And we'll run that for about a week. And then we'll set up a day that, okay, we're doing in-person interviews, group interviews this day. And we may have 10, 15 people say, yes, I'm going to be there. And then only 3 or 4 actually show up. And then out of those 3 or 4, you kind of can weed out some of those, just seeing how they interact with each other and different things of that nature. But it seems like it's a process, but it actually has saved a lot of time that's very valuable also.
McKenna, do you have a follow-up question to that?
I do have a follow-up question. So what would you say to those other people who have a hard time managing and just being straight up with their employees because they just want to be liked?
I've got friends. I don't need, I don't want to sound bad. I don't need more friends. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to run a business. I want there to be a great morale. I want there to be, a camaraderie amongst everybody. And we do. We have we're a small business. So, but at the same time, at the end of the day, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. That's not my intent. But at the same time, did you do your job? Because that's what you're getting paid for. You're getting paid about performance. And if you're not performing, if you're not producing, then we're going to take a look at that. I'm going to pull you to the side. We're going to have a discussion about that and give you an opportunity to fix it. Because then the second time I'm going to fix it, and that's by bringing somebody else in.
Now, I want to go back to this for a second. You have the benefit of one of your best friends is a client of ours. So Paul's
Yes.
able to sort of relay to you, hey, a year ago I learned this, or 2 years ago I
Mhm.
learned this. And so, how much has it helped you having a weekly coach in your life where you know that every week you get coaching, you get feedback, and then also knowing that maybe one of your best friends is also going through the same program?
It it really helps, and because there's times that I'll be like, Paul, this is what Clay's want me to do, and I don't understand this. And then he can break it down to me, and he's like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but look at it from this angle. And it kind of gives that other approach, that other 30,000 foot view of it, and it really helps. And then there's times he's like, that's a good Clay question. You might go back to him and ask. Um, and so it builds the camaraderie between Paul and I. We've been great friends for several years, and now we do a lot of business together. And so it's great to have those like-minded individuals, the ones that like Paul. He'll send me a message at 5 o'clock, almost, like I think was Eric mentioned. He's like, Dad was, call me. Are you up? Sunshine, or sweetheart. And he's like, yeah, I'm up. And so Paul does a lot of that with me too. Is like he'll call me. It's like, hey, call me. And I'll call him right back. And it's like 5:30 in the morning. And I'm like, yeah, I'm already at the office. What are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, I've been at the office for like 30, 45 minutes. It's you're going to get out of what you put into it. And if you're going to make that financial investment to hire a, a, a coaching establishment like yourself, that was probably one of the best, hardest decisions I've made in a long time. I'm like, what? You want me to pay you what? And I'm barely making it now. And then I go back and look at it. And I'm like, I wish I would have done that with my other businesses when I first got them started, because of how much that foundation has been built now. It's phenomenal.
Now, I get one thing, and I don't mean this as a backhanded compliment or anything, but just positive. I've never had a part of my life where I haven't had coaching or an advisor. I just never have. So like my thing is if I'm stuck, I like for Winters and King. This is not a wintersking.com commercial. That's my law firm I work with. I don't get paid a commission to pitch them, but I've asked for a commission. But wintersking.com. I always pay them, and I pay them, on retainer every month, thousands of dollars, because anytime I have a legal question, I want to have an attorney, or we might call it maybe a legal coach on retainer that helps me. I've always paid CCK accounting services. Again, that's not a commercial for them, but these are real companies. I'll pull them up on the screen here so people can see. I've always paid them because I don't want to get to a situation where I'm ever guessing at what I'm going to do for my accounting. So when I pay for accounting coaching, CCK, it's a cckcpa.com. I pay every month, and I never question it because I grew up poor, and I know the keys to staying poor would be not knowing what you're doing. I don't want to sprint through the minefield of life and guess. I want to take away guesswork. What do you say to somebody who's maybe new to the idea of having a coach or a mentor that they meet with on an ongoing basis?
It's I mean it's a vital role. It needs to. You've got to figure out how to make it part of your system. If you want it, if you want the success, if you're in that mindset of the fog that you're like, man, I'm just struggling. I don't know where to go. It's okay. That's not your zone. If you're, like your cheesecake, you're a baker. You do you, and then you bring in your team. You build your team for success, and you don't need to know everything. You need to have the right lineup on your team to stand that line with you to move forward.
I want to pull up your website one more time for anybody out there that's thinking about buying a container home or looking into that. You've got a great gallery of great projects you've done. I encourage everyone to check it out. It's vetboxcontainers.com, vetboxcontainers.com. The website is vetboxcontainers.com. You can check it out there. And for anybody who wants to meet Zach, you can occasionally see Zach at our in-person workshops, so you can meet him there. Zach, I'll give you the final word. Somebody out there is not growing by 444%, and they might need a little love, a little nudge. What would you say?
Man, just reach out to y'all, and you do the free interview with them and just see if they're a good fit and everything. So it's worth a phone call. But if you're not willing to take some steps for growth, then don't get upset for the rut that you're staying in, because you're in the driver's seat. So you can either keep going the path you're going or say, okay, hey, I need some help. And what areas of that do you need the help in? And mine was marketing, to get my brand out there, and to promote us. And like I said, once I got past that financial obligation, it has paid for itself exponentially. And it's like, I'm happy to sign that, that check every month. And because the return is there, and it's worth it.
I'll tell you this, your friend Paul, we were looking at his leads this week. He's now getting more leads in a week than he used to get in 2 months. It's great to see that. It's great to hear about your success. So if you're looking to build a container home, folks, check out the website. Again, it helps Zach rank higher in Google if you check out his website. So it's vetboxcontainers.com. If you can find it, folks, online and share a link on your social media, that would help him rank higher on the search results. It's vetboxcontainers.com. And if you're looking for gourmet, world-class dessert, go find McKenna at our workshop. If you're looking for a container home, go to vetboxcontainers.com. Zach, thank you so much. McKenna, thank you so much for joining us today. And Zach, we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
It is Jen Jacobson Brusa, and our web address is shop.belovedcheesecakes.com. We have definitely broke records, especially in the month of October, and we're shipping 130 cheesecakes every Tuesday. We could ship more, but we're just running out of space. We don't have enough space.
The freezer capacity.
Yeah,
and our bakers are struggling to keep up. And we have 2 full-time amazing bakers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great problem to have. We're super blessed.
Yes.
But it's just, overcoming, digging.
Yep.
We don't use preservatives or anything. That's why we can't, when we ship them, we want to be able to add all of our fresh ingredients. However, to make the best possible cheesecake arrive at the best possible way, we have to ship the toppings separately. Our growth has been through the roof. Now, when our phone dings and there are cheesecake, that means it's been a cheesecake sale. It used to be a real, wow, look at that, we got a cheesecake sale. Oh my stars, look, where are we shipping it to? Now it's, oh boy, I hope I have the product available. I hope everything's going to be perfect. And now our cheesecake shippings are anywhere from 125 to, I think this week, Tuesday the 28th, we will be another personal record. I think we're pushing 140, possibly 145 cheesecakes.
Are you so you're up like 14 times? Is that accurate, Jen? Am I getting that wrong?
Yes. I can't get over enough of Clay would always tell us. It's about consistent. It's about being at the grind, and you develop your systems and you repeat them, and you develop everything that works and you repeat it over and over and over, regardless if you're tired, you're discouraged. It doesn't matter. These systems work, and if you continue to just put time into it and do it repetitively over and over and over, the fruit will come.
Yep.
The results will come, and you'll be like us, to where how are we keeping up with all these orders?
Jen Brusa owns and operates a successful business called Beloved Cheesecakes, where she sells an amazing variety of them. Jen says her made-from-scratch desserts are award-winning for a couple of reasons.
I just chalk it up to it's Jesus, and it's made with pure love, and my heart goes into it.
Before Jen became a business owner, she had separated from her husband and was raising her 3 sons by herself. Jen received food stamps to help cover her expenses. She also worked as a waitress and got another job in guest services. But even then, it wasn't enough to take care of her 3 growing boys.
Overwhelmed is an understatement. There were times where I didn't even think I was gonna make it. Honestly, it was my boys that kept me going.
After Jen and her husband divorced, she joined a food share co-op program where she paid $20 a month to get surplus food at a discounted price. That's when she received a parcel of blackberries and started making cheesecakes. They were so popular, she began to sell them.
A major blow to Oregon restaurants and bars as the state enters a 3rd shutdown. It's going to take effect today, and it will be the 3rd indoor dining ban for some major cities like Portland and Salem and Bend and Eugene, forcing recovering restaurants to shut their doors yet again to indoor diners. Jen Jacobson is a mother of 3 and the owner of Beloved Cheesecakes, and she joins us right now from out in Oregon. Good morning to you, Jen.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
When you heard the news, you must have thought, you got to be kidding me. I've already had to let all my employees go. It's just me and my 3 kids running this operation. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to keep going and doing what I can with the to-go orders and trying to survive that way. I mean, that is what it is. It's like just surviving right now. I do feel like for small businesses, you know, Governor Brown talks about being the underrepresented population of people that she cares for. I mean, we have that in common. I care for underrepresented people myself, and I think she's oversaw small business owners, and especially in the restaurant industry, and we're being underrepresented right now.
Yeah, and there's a picture of you with your 3 children who are helping you run your operation. And by the way, we've got your website. We're going to give the website in a moment, so people, if they would like to get, in fact, there it is right there. People would like to help her and her family out. BelovedCheesecakes.com is where you can go to see what she's selling, and she'll ship it to you.
All right, folks, we have the Beloved Cheesecakes team broadcasting live here from Oregon, and they have some exciting news. They're continuing to set records because great people like you are buying their cheesecakes. But the company started with very humble beginnings. Jen, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Clay, for having us.
So, Jen, for anybody who wants to verify you're not a hologram and you are a real person, can you tell us your first and last name and your web address for your company?
Yes.
And who's this handsome man next to you, for anybody who wants to look
My
him up?
husband, Mackay.
Mackay. Now, Mackay, people want to look you up. How do you spell Mackay? Someone says, how do you spell Mackay?
It's Makai.
Okay, now we've got through the controversial stuff. You guys are winning awards. You're being nominated for awards. Your sales records are being set. Jen, tell us about the kinds of awards you're being nominated for. Tell us what's happening there at BelovedCheesecakes.com.
Yeah, well, recently we've been put in the top 150 mom and pop shops, America's mom and pop shops from the Entrepreneur magazine. I thought it was a scam at first because, you know, we get a lot of scammy emails. And then the tournament started October 6th, and round 1, we made it through round 1, and round 2 came and we made it through round 2. And so what it is we don't know when they're tagging us, but they'll just tag us on a random day, and it's we're facing off with another local, or not local, but another small business in America. And this last week was round 3. We faced off with a business in New York, and we made it in the top 4 finalists. So next week we have no idea when Beloved Cheesecakes will be tagged, but I guess we're going to be facing off their terminology is a local legend. So, but we're the only business in Oregon that is going to be facing off with another business somewhere elsewhere in the state. So 4 of them. So it's pretty cool.
Now, I want to showcase and share your product with everybody here. It's belovedcheesecakes.com. That's the website. And if somebody out there is watching this show, Jen, and they want to be an entrepreneur, they want to be successful, they want to turn their dream into reality, could you tell us about how you started belovedcheesecakes.com? Because again, now people see the momentum, they see the awards, they see just all the nationwide success you're having. But for anybody who's going, I want to start my own thing, how did you start belovedcheesecakes.com?
Well, how I started the whole thing was in 2019, and actually started even before that in 2015. So Makai has married in, but I came out of a domestic violent marriage with 3 boys. I was on a food share program, got a flat of blackberries, made a cheesecake, a blackberry cheesecake for my kids' school. And from there, it was, turned into a side hustle, godsidentally is what I call it. And then I had a Kickstarter that started us, funded us, and my boys and I opened in August 2019, 8 months before the lockdown. And then I chose to stay open during the lockdown. I ended up meeting my husband during the lockdown as well. And like I said, he married in, and here we are. God wanted Beloved Cheesecakes. It's his business. I'm his beloved. He is mine. And it's pretty amazing. We have 2 locations. We ship nationwide. We're in about 20 different restaurants here locally, and grocery stores, and bougie grocery stores, that is.
Now, I met you guys at the Reawaken in Oregon, and people kept saying, Clay, you need to meet Jen. You got to meet this lady. She did not comply with the lockdowns. She stayed open, which, by the way, Oregon is a very tough state to stay open. And for anybody who doesn't know, it's probably the most progressive and liberal state out there. I mean, it really is wild, the persecution you faced. You stayed open. You were featured on Fox News and other outlets for defying the lockdowns and the mandates. We met in Oregon, and now as you're growing this business, we have the opportunity to work with you and help kind of coach you. And what's fun about your business is you're scaling it. And I really wanted to get into that part of I want to dive into your wisdom on scaling something. So let's talk about scaling. What does that mean? It's where you sell something, and you sell something else, and you sell another one, and now Makai, you're selling 8. And then you sell another one, you're selling, and the people who bought the cheesecake at belovedcheesecakes.com, they love the cheesecake so much, they tell their friends. And now all of a sudden, you're selling 16. And now all of a sudden, those 16 love it so much, and now we're headed into Thanksgiving, and people are going, whoa, I think I saw you on the 700 Club. Aren't you that lady from Entrepreneur Magazine? And now you're selling 32. Jen, I believe, and I want to get Makai's thoughts on this too, I believe now you're selling so many cheesecakes that the local shipping services might not be able to even keep up with all the orders. Is that correct? Am I making that up?
No, you're not making it up. We have definitely broke records, especially in the month of October, and we're shipping 130 cheesecakes every Tuesday. We could ship more, but we're just running out of space. We don't have enough space.
The freezer capacity.
Yeah,
and our bakers are struggling to keep up. And we have 2 full-time amazing bakers. Mm-hmm. It's a great problem to have. We're super blessed.
Yes.
But it's just, overcoming, digging.
Yep.
Now there's this thing called the tracking sheet, and there's a thing called a recipe. So if you didn't have a recipe, you would not be serving up the world's best cheesecake. I mean, if you just said, hey, guys, girls, people, just do your best. Make the cheesecakes how you feel. We'll go off the feel method. Just paint your way through this. Have some fun. We'll be creative. So you have a recipe to standardize the excellence and the quality. And then you have a tracking sheet, so you make sure you're managing the numbers. Jen, let's talk about the recipe. When you started making, I'm going to belovedcheesecakes.com, folks, and I'm clicking on the gallery button. And I'm looking here, I'm finding myself getting hungry. You've got the pumpkin spice going on, you got the Oreo thing. When you first started experimenting with cheesecakes, how did you know that, okay, this one's good enough, I should begin selling it? How did you know that?
Well, it was, the research and development of it, and testing different recipes and making sure that it was perfect, and having other people sample them, and making sure that this was a high-end, high-quality cheesecake. And so by testing it, I do the quality control now that I'm not baking. I definitely taste my fillings, make sure that everything is still staying the same. And that's the biggest compliment we get, is the consistency and our quality. You know, we don't do shortcuts, and we still hand zest and hand juice all of our citrus. Someday I would like to get an actual juicer, but we just don't have the room for it right now.
And so when you're filling these orders, you have bakers and they all want to make the cakes. You want everyone to make the cakes to a certain quality standard. Your quality standard, Makai, is sincerely higher than that of your competition. I'm trying to word this in a way that makes sense. You're not trying to be some diva bougie cheesecake, but if like a Ford Escort was the cheapest cheesecake in the world and a Lamborghini was like the best, you're kind of serving a Lamborghini cheesecake, but maybe at like a Honda price. I mean, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but you offer that Lamborghini quality. Can you talk about that? Just what is the idea? How do you position yourself in the market? How do you see yourself, Makai? Do you see yourselves as like the Lamborghini of cheesecake, or how would you describe the quality that someone will receive when they get one of your cheesecakes?
I would definitely say it's the Lamborghini. We like to also reference Ferrari. We call ourselves the Ferrari of cheesecakes, best cheesecake in America. And I think what it all boils down to is we use real ingredients and we make real cheesecake, scratch made, handmade, every one of them.
Small batch.
When I say real ingredients, you can look at our ingredients because we have to give them out to these bougie grocery stores. And our ingredients, I think, is 10 or under. And then other cakes that are involved, other cheesecakes from other facilities. The list is ginormous compared to ours. And people all the time say when they have our cheesecake, they eat it, they don't feel heavy, they don't feel bloated, they feel still light, or they don't get heartburn and things like that. So
we're not using all the fillers.
No, we don't use preservatives or anything. That's why we can't, when we ship them, we want to be able to add all of our fresh ingredients. However, to make the best possible cheesecake arrive at the best possible way, we have to ship the toppings separately.
Now, what I'm gonna do now, Jen, is I'm gonna open it up. We have two members of our team here on the mic. They're not on camera, but they're on the mic. We have Rihanna here, and we have McKenna. They're very solid, good people, and they might or might not like cheesecake, but I know they like you. And we're gonna ask you a couple questions, if we can, about growing your business, because there's somebody watching this show today, and they're going to be inspired by the answers you provide here. So let's go with Rihanna first. Rihanna, what question would you have for Jen, who's been a client of ours for a long time? She's a diligent person. She's putting in the work. She's making a great product. What question would you have for Jen?
Yeah. So what habits would you say would be the most critical to your success?
Oh, definitely. Well, keeping a schedule, and then also we really focus on being diligent doers, you know? So I tell people when we do group interviews that we're in these restaurants not because they came to us. We're in these grocery stores not because they came to us, but we're diligent doers, and we're calling them. One grocery store, it took us a year to get in, and that's from us being diligent and calling them. Even with the rejections of no's, we still continue to call. So that is one habit, is to continually follow through, call, be a diligent doer.
Now, I have a follow-up question, then we'll go to McKenna here. And I'm not asking you to put your financial numbers out there for the world to hear, but I do want to ask you this question. Makai, when we met in Oregon, I just remember hearing that you would not lock down, and I knew, well, boop, 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 we could help you, because there's a certain defiance you have to have. By the way, there's a great documentary series called The Defiant Ones, one of my favorite documentaries of all time, called The Defiant Ones, and it is mind-boggling. But you have to be a little bit defiant in terms of you have to stand up for your principles and be focused if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. And I knew when you guys stood up to the lockdowns, I knew you would do very well as business owners. From the time that we met in Oregon to now, how much growth have you had? Are you selling one extra cheesecake a month? Are you one time bigger? Are you 10% smaller? Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? How would you describe growth, just to give people a context of the kind of the growth you guys are having over there at belovedcheesecakes.com?
It's easy. It's been significant. Just last year to this year, and you're just talking shipping, we were excited when it wasn't a holiday week or a holiday month, and we would ship 10, 15 cheesecakes on a Tuesday. We thought we were big stuff. But as of August, we've been really playing around with Facebook ads on our advertising and marketing, because it's all about that marketing. our growth has been through the roof. Now, when our phone dings and there are cheesecake, that means it's been a cheesecake sale. It used to be a real, wow, look at that, we got a cheesecake sale. Oh my stars, look, where are we shipping it to? Now it's, oh boy, I hope I have the product available. I hope everything's going to be perfect. And now our cheesecake shippings are anywhere from 125 to, I think this week, Tuesday the 28th, we will be another personal record. I think we're pushing 140, possibly 145 cheesecakes.
Are you
again,
like, so you're up like 14 times? Is that accurate, Jen? Am I getting that wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, folks, what we're going to do right now, we're all going to come into an agreement right now. If you're looking for a holiday gift, and I know you are. Now, someone says, I'm not looking for a holiday gift. Okay, if you're Scrooge and you're not getting a holiday gift, we'll pray for you too. But if you are watching this show right now and you're looking for a great gift for mom or dad or somebody, I want everyone to go to Beloved Cheesecakes and at least consider buying an incredible cheesecake from belovedcheesecakes.com. And again, you guys are having exponential, massive growth. McKenna, you have a chance to work with great clients. What question would you have for Jen about scaling from a small business to a regional business to now a national brand? Well, I have you muted. That's terrible. I'm back to you.
Yeah. How has implementing the tracking sheet ultimately helped you and helped impact your business as well as scaling it?
Oh, the tracking sheet has been an absolute lifesaver. We ask every single person how they heard about us. And in the beginning, when we first started working with Clay, we had ads on a radio station. We had ads in a magazine. And when we started using the tracking sheet of how do you hear about us, we saw where our marketing dollars were going and not getting any no fruit from it. And so being able to track how everybody heard about us, being able to see our numbers, so then we can push like, okay, we've got to have sales this week. We had a loss last week or whatever. The tracking sheet has been an absolute game changer for us.
Do you have a follow-up question about tracking sheets, McKenna? And we'll go back to Rihanna. What do you have a follow-up question for Jen? Because again, somebody watching this show, you are highly motivated, highly caffeinated, maybe even agitated. You want to have success, and you're maybe saying, "Wow, can I do it?" I mean this sincerely. I know you can do it. I know Jen is doing it. Any other question you have for Jen there, McKenna?
What was the most surprising thing that you found through tracking?
I think, like I said, we had our ad. We have a really conservative, awesome radio station here in the area, and we were spending money with them monthly. And I think finding through the tracking sheet and asking people how they hear about us, not seeing fruit from that was really surprising and shocking and sad, because we also want to support another local business here. But when you're a small business, your dollars, every dollar counts on where you're spending it. And so I think, wouldn't you think that's like,
I was going to say, I'd love to add to that. Asking for objective reviews.
Oh yeah.
At the very beginning, when we started working with Clay, we thought this might be a little ridiculous, this little obnoxious, pestering people. Hey, we'd love to have an objective review. Your opinion really matters to our business. But then fast forward to where we're at, 2,200 or plus 5-star reviews. And to hear when you ask people, hey, how'd you hear about us? And they're like, oh, I want a dessert. And I Googled dessert, and bam, you came right up, best dessert. Or a company in Vermont says, where's the best key lime cheesecake? They find us. Now we build a relationship where we send them cases of key lime cheesecake all the way from Oregon into Vermont for her restaurant. So
I want to show people this too, just to hammer what you just said, because what you said, Makai, is pretty powerful. If you Google search Oregon cheesecakes, you guys now come up as the top search result. Mm-hmm. And I have run into so many people that have come to me and they've said, hey, Clay, I heard about Beloved through this, through that, looked them up. They always say that part. They go, I heard about Beloved through this and that, and I looked them up, and they were great. But they always say, I looked them up. So what does that mean, to look it up, to look them up? I'm looking it up. What does that mean? I'm looking it up. It's usually somebody Googling something. And then they find something, and because you stood up against the lockdowns for a while, the only thing that ever came up was like some toxic news story. And so we've had to work through that. So it's been pretty awesome to see. Rihanna, again, belovedcheesecakes.com is the topic, scaling a company. What question or questions would you have for Jen about how to scale, how she has scaled her business, belovedcheesecakes.com?
Yeah. How have you dealt with the criticism and the rejection that comes with scaling your business?
It's pretty easy. I think it's free entertainment, to be honest. I don't pay much attention to it. And I'm very vocal here in Oregon. I stand for our freedom and
Jesus
and America. And so what people that are hating on us or criticizing us, we are also fighting for their freedom of speech. I mean, they have the freedom to have their opinion, their thoughts, their beliefs. And so when they hate on us, it's like, that's okay. That's your opinion. We're allowed to have our own opinions and beliefs. And so I don't take it to heart at all.
Behind you, you have all these signs, these wonderful, encouraging signs. You and I share, I think, a similar worldview in that we're always putting out signs and things on the wall. You've decided to not apologize for your faith at belovedcheesecakes.com. As you're hiring people through the process of the group interview, aka interviewing a lot of candidates, how has that helped your business, Jen? Interviewing a lot of people and just knowing that, hey, not everybody's going to fit into a culture where I'm putting up Bible verses on my walls.
The group interviews is probably one of my most favorite things about running Beloved Cheesecakes and learning the group interview from having you as my coach. I just had my first walkout last week, actually, and I always start with, hi, I'm Jen, the owner, founder of Beloved Cheesecakes. First and foremost, we love Jesus. Secondly, we love America. You do not have to know Jesus to work for us, but if you do not like America, you will not like working for us. It doesn't offend me if you leave. I just have to tell you who we are. And I had a gal get up and she's like, yeah, I don't think this is going to be a good fit for me. And which is totally fine. And I'm like, we'll still serve you cheesecake.
Yep,
we still love you. But you just have to know who we are. So I just, right at the beginning, everybody knows there's no question. And clearly they come in our shop and they see that as well.
I want to share this real quick. This is a copy of a book I'm editing for Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer right now. And it's on my desk. And I don't have to hide this book. I don't have to go, oh, no, someone's coming in my office. I should hide the book. Or this is on my desk right now. This is Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Guide to Investing. I was just on the Rich Dad Poor Dad podcast this week. I don't have to hide this book and say, oh, no, someone's coming in my office. I don't have to live in duality. Mark Batterson just sent me his book. This is the pastor of one of the largest churches in America. He's in Washington, D.C. Wow. I just interviewed Mark on our show this week. I don't have to hide the book like it's contraband. I don't have cognitive dissonance. I'm not trying to appeal to everybody. And if you're watching today's show and you feel stuck because you're being held hostage by crazy, toxic, nefarious employees, folks, we can help you get unstuck. Jen, what would you say to anybody who has not been to one of our workshops? Because I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think when you came to our workshops, I think you kind of felt like you'd found your tribe or like you'd found home. How would you describe the business workshops?
For the business workshops, it's not a motivational workshop. That's what I first tell everybody. It is action-packed, and you are going to learn the skills and the things to do in your business that will help grow and scale your business. And I think everybody should go. I tell everybody about your business conference all the time. And just if they want to, they don't even have to have you as a business coach, but just to go and learn the steps to grow their business, and also to have that boldness and courage and to stand up for what they believe in and bring their values, their personal values, into their business and not be afraid of that.
So here's what I'm doing today on today's show. Someone says today. Well, it's just between now and December 4th and 5th. So between now and December 4th and 5th, kind of get some mojo going. If you're watching today's show, or you watch the show, whenever you watch it between now and December 4th and 5th, if you will go to belovedcheesecakes.com, and you will buy any cheesecake at all. You buy any cheesecake at all for the holidays, for yourself. Maybe you're trying to pack on 45 pounds before the holidays. That's great. But you just go to belovedcheesecakes.com. You buy a cheesecake, buy multiple cheesecakes. If you'll just text me a screenshot to verify your purchase. So you say, what do? Go to belovedcheesecakes.com. You buy a cheesecake, and you want to text my cell phone number. This is my cell phone number. We'll keep that very private between you and me and everybody. That's my cell phone number, 918-851-0102. If you'll just text me proof of purchase, I'm going to enter you in for a chance to win a backstage pass to the upcoming conference featuring Eric Trump, featuring Mel K, featuring yourself, featuring Michael Levine. So again, you say, I want to go to the business workshop. How do I do it? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. You say, I want to have a great cheesecake. How do I do it? Belovedcheesecakes.com. Now, if you'll just buy anything at all from belovedcheesecakes.com and you'll text me a proof of purchase to my cell phone number, that number is 918-851-0102, 918-85 0102. You'll be entered in for a chance to win a backstage pass to the upcoming event. So my final question, Jen, is if somebody's looking at buying one of your products and they're going, okay, I've never bought a Beloved Cheesecakes product before. What's the one? What's the move? If someone goes to your gallery, they go to the shop, what is the one thing that everybody should check out? What's the one product
I think everybody
get?
should get the ultimate sampler. It's one slice of everything that we have, and you get the 2 seasonals. At Christmas time, you'll have the pumpkin and the white chocolate peppermint in that. And we tell everybody that Beloved Cheesecakes is a great gift to give someone that has everything.
That's right.
So that's what we say.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Don't look at it too much, folks. Look at it. Look at it. Go to, so we go to belovedcheesecakes.com. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to belovedcheesecakes.com. Fingers on the home row. Feeling the flow. Working it. Finding the shop button. Clicking the shop button. Finding the ultimate sampler. Where is it? It's over here to the left. I click the ultimate sampler, and there it is. 80, what is it? Half price? It's only $89. Come on. This is incredible cheesecake. So again, Jen, thank you so much for your time. Makai, I appreciate you allowing the Ferrari of cheesecakes to be available for just $89. Makai, I'll give you the final word, final 30 seconds. What say you, sir?
I'm glad you said that because I can't get over enough of Clay would always tell us it's about consistent. It's about being at the grind, and you develop your systems and you repeat them, and you develop everything that works and you repeat it over and over and over, regardless if you're tired, you're discouraged, it doesn't matter. These systems work, and if you continue to just put time into it and do it repetitively over and over and over, the fruit will come, the results will come, and you'll be like us to where how are we keeping up with all these orders?
Thank you guys so much for carving out time. I know you have more orders to ship. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us. And it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads, going from 10 a month to 180 a month. That would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
Sean, guess what's happening? April 9th and 10th, 2026.
We are probably going to have an amazing business conference here at Tulsa Jerusalem.
Yes, we're joined by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is going to be joining us right here at the Thrivetime Show World Headquarters, June 5th and 6th. He's a very successful football player, obviously a Heisman Award winner, but he's also a very successful entrepreneur. Now, when you work with real clients, Sean, real clients you really work with to help them grow their companies, do you ever hear a business owner tell you that they didn't have time to get something done?
Every day.
How often is not having enough time a problem for business owners?
All the time. It's like maybe 90% of the issues as people are trying to grow their company.
Well, Tim Tebow is going to come join us here at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, and he's going to teach us time management and his approach to personal self-discipline and getting things done. Also at the workshop, I'll put up on the website so people can see it here. Also at the 2-day interactive workshop, Sean, we are going to be, there it is. We're going to be teaching accounting, systems creation, marketing, human resources, how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people, accounting, social media advertising, search engine optimization. Sean, what's the area where most clients ask you for help the most? Is it generating leads? Is it hiring people? What's the biggest issue that most business owners have by default before they come to one of our workshops?
Well, I think it's management, because time is the most valuable resource for these business owners, and being able to manage their time is the first thing. Once they get that under control, then generally the numbers, being able to track their business and be able to make the best decisions based on numbers rather than emotions is a big area. And we teach all of this stuff at the business conference, particularly you, Clay. You love to hammer on time management. It's my favorite part of the conference.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick here because we're going to go through. If you're not excited, I want to get you excited about what we're going to cover at the workshop here. Okay.
All right.
The 2-day interactive workshop. This is my 20th year hosting workshops. So I'm telling you, folks, we're in rare form here. So one is the idea of establishing your revenue goals. I think most entrepreneurs don't know their revenue goals. Would you agree, or am I off my rocker?
No, that's totally a very important point we do with every one of our new clients that come on board is we have to establish the revenue goals. And generally speaking, we have a vague idea, but not an exact idea that can be engineered down into like the daily goals for sales. And so that's a really big one.
Now, next is the break-even numbers. What kind of sales do you have to do to even break even?
Yeah.
Third is how many hours per week do you want to work? What is your ideal schedule as an entrepreneur? Box number 4, how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce? What makes your company unique from all the different businesses? In a world of brown cows, herds of brown cows, proverbial brown cows, the analogy of brown cows, how can you be the purple cow that stands out? How can you be the squeaky wheel that gets the oil? Box number 5, branding. How do you improve the perception that people have of you, your business, your brand? Box number 6, marketing, your three-legged marketing stool. What is a turnkey way for you and your company to generate leads so you can succeed? Because if you don't have any leads, your business will bleed. If you can't sell, your business will go to hell. You've got to generate leads. Sean, how often do business owners by default tell you they have a hard time generating leads?
It's almost all of the time. It's really a huge struggle. And many times they may be creating leads, but just through word of mouth. So they get to a point where we've implemented systems and then they need to create more leads, but they've never had to do it. So there's a lot of different scenarios where business owners are like, how do you create leads? Something we hammer on at the conference a lot.
Box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Again, box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Sales scripts, recorded calls, one sheets, pre-written emails, lead trackers, all of the sales tools, the sales print pieces, the one sheets, the big screens that you see inside the business. Whether you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you got to have sales systems in place. We help you with that. Box number 8, what does it cost you to get another customer? Step number 8, what does it cost you to actually acquire a customer? Step number 9, it's hard to build an organization if you're not organized. We're going to teach you how to create repeatable systems, processes, file organization. Box number 10, we're going to teach you how to manage people, real people on the planet Earth. This just in, we're going to teach you how to manage real people on the planet Earth. Box number 11, how to create a sustainable schedule that works for you and your family. Step number 12, how to create human resources systems for recruiting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. Box number 13, accounting. This just in, we have to cover accounting. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. We're going to cover all the accounting things you need to know. And step 14, finally, what is the point of even achieving success? We're going to go over what is the point of even achieving success, how to design a life that you're excited about, how to design a life where you carve out enough time for your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, and where you're going to spend your focused time. We're going to go through that, all this and more. Now, the workshop, Sean, it's April 9th and 10th. It's a 2-day interactive workshop.
Yes.
And tickets, we always do it. It's $250 or whatever price that someone can afford. Sean, why do we let people name their price? Why do we have scholarship tickets available if somebody can't afford the $250 general admission ticket?
Well, we don't want anybody to miss out on it. You could be at a startup phase or you could be, way along in your business, but we want to make it accessible for everybody. I think it actually goes back to a story of your dad. And it goes all the way back to how you've always done this as a business coach, trying to make sure that, your average people out there have access to the things that work.
Now, 7 a.m. to 5. Sean, why do we go from 7 to 5 both days? I mean, it's 10 hours a day. 20 hours of training over 2 days. Why do we do 10 hours a day, Sean, of back-to-back workshops? We do a 30-minute teaching session. We do a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we take a break. 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of question and answer, then we take a break. Why do we do that format, Sean?
That format is so that we can keep people engaged and not just sitting there listening, but also getting involved. We really encourage people to ask questions, and that's really where the juiciness of the conference comes out, is you can put your personal situation and your questions on the board, and Clay will tee off and give you direct advice. Even without being in our coaching program, you can get direct coaching from Clay. It's really a very engaging format. I enjoy it a lot.
Once again, folks, this event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Whoa. Who's our keynote speaker coming to the conference there, Sean?
Tim Tebow is our keynote speaker.
Sean, question number 3, how much does it cost to come to our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think it's, did you say it's $250 or whatever you can afford?
That's right, $250 $8 or whatever you can afford. Sean, how do you spell Eric Trump backwards?
P-M-U-R-T-C-I-R-E. Ooh, that took a long time.
I'll have to listen to this. You did it right. All right, again, that's Sean Lohman. I'm Clay Clark, inviting you to come join us at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. This event is April 9th and 10th, 2026. Get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Tim Tebow, baby. It's Tebow time.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsa, Jerusalem.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got a fire breather, and man, people are so excited as they come in. The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Aaron Hansis with Shaw Holmes up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Lending Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement, when you do the proven system. It's so exciting. People are going crazy. Guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2 and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees, and now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences, and amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February. In the last 2.5 days.
I heard about it on the podcast. Started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes, and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm gonna say, this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been two major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that could help your business.
Hi, this is Charles and Amber Koloff. We're the owners of Koloff Fitness. We heard about Clay Clark through Paul Hood, our CPA. We've worked with Clay Clark for the last 2 years. Clay Clark has helped us take our 3 locations in 3 different states and create checklists, workflows, task lists, time blocks for every employee. He's helped us with creating systems and audits for every department, quantitative scorecards for each department and every position so that everybody has a number. It's been able to give us a lot of time freedom and financial freedom and peace of mind to know that everything's running efficiently, and he's been helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google, and pretty much every area of the business. It's been very, very helpful.
We would describe the experience of working with Clay as very energetic. He's full of energy. He's very encouraging, very motivating, but also accountable. So he keeps us accountable, and we love that accountability. It keeps our drive in the right direction, so we're not chasing things that aren't worth spending our time on.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He helps push us on certain areas, helps coach us in certain areas. We're all emotional creatures, and we go up and down, and he actually will tell us kind of where we're at, how we can get from there, and even like emotionally, like when we're stressed about something, he'll have a story to relate to, and it really helps us in every area of our business. It's been very, very helpful.
I think Clay's ability to have a whole team behind him that help him with all of his clients, all his coaching clients, is that it allows Clay to do what he's really good at, and that's working one-on-one with the client and coaching them. And then he can have his amazing staff come in and help you accomplish all these goals that you're setting.
And of course, he has all these resources, whether it's videographers or whether it's web developers, that they can quickly jump on your project, knock things out. He can quickly give you the right coaching. He's just got a whole team of people that whatever area you're lacking in your own company, he's got resources from like video, web design, search engine guys who are just knowledgeable in that. Even though he knows a lot of that stuff, he's got these capable lieutenants that are ready to just take off and help you get that stuff. More stuff gets done on a weekly basis than you would on like probably most than the individual or some other company. We've worked with several companies before, and it's just not as many things get done on a weekly basis, so it's been very helpful. Well, the conferences for me, I'm a slow learner, so I have to learn like over and over again, hear things over and over again. I've been to like, I think 8 different conferences, and each time you come, I learn a few new components. Some things are repetitive, but a lot of the stuff just resettles, and I get a little bit more depth into each component. I've been to 8 of them. They're all super entertaining. He's very funny, very encouraging. You get to kind of self-reflect a lot. A lot of the stuff is really polarizing. You do a personal inventory of yourself, and you'll think like, hey, I've really got to work on this, really got to work on that. So every time you come, I still get a lot of value out of it.
And as much as every conference is the same, it's totally different. So I think we'll hear stories we haven't heard before. They'll have entertainment, or he'll have speakers he didn't have before. And you, like you said, you just always catch a different part of the material that maybe you didn't catch before, or it's worded differently.
And it's really cool because some people that you've seen like a year ago at a conference, now they're being showcased as a success story, and you get to see their website, you get to see how their stats, all their metrics have improved and the revenue improved. So it's really cool to see people that just a year ago, that of course we've been here 2 years, that just came, that I met, is now being successful. It's really encouraging to see other people, accomplish that stuff. So Clay has helped us optimize our website and helped with really topping the right search engines that we need to make sure that we are very, very competitive with all of our other competitors. He's done, basically he outlines exactly what you need to be accomplishing, and he creates tasks that we have to accomplish and his team has to accomplish. And I would say over the last 2 years, we've totally ramped our website. We're topping Google in every one of our markets. We're just doing I would say just doing really, really good. I feel very, very confident in all of our future locations and making sure that we're in front of the ideal and likely buyer. It's very encouraging. It's important to me to know when I'm working with Clay, I've been in business for a while and met with him even when I already had three businesses in 3 different states, and to know that what I share with him is staying private. He's not sending that out to anybody else. To know that when he's working with me, he's only working with no other gyms that are in direct competition with me. It's very encouraging to have somebody you can trust and rely on, that he isn't going to somehow tell your trade secrets or give information away. Just really awesome that he's a trustworthy guy, really cares about you as a client. For us, it's been a complete mind freedom because Clay has helped us create a lot of different documents and one-sheets for every department, put quantitative scorecards to each department. And so for us, it's been very encouraging and gives us peace that when, as an entrepreneur, it's stressful. You go to bed at night and you're worried, did we cover this, did we cover that? So he helps extract everything out of your brain, everything from your business, put it into document creation, put it into checklists and workflows for every person in each department, and make sure that everything's getting done every week, every month, and funnel that all into KPIs or key performance indicators that you can see on a weekly basis to make sure you're moving the needle in the right area of your company. So it's very encouraging and give you a complete mind freedom and peace to know that stuff's created so you're easy to duplicate and scale your company.
Right, and then we can spend time doing what we're really good at and just trust the system.
I honestly believe everybody needs a coach. I think we're all inherently lazy and selfish and carnal. I truly believe that humans are humans. If we're standing, we'd rather sit. If we're sitting, we'd rather lay down. And if we're laying down, we'd rather be asleep. So to have somebody that challenges you, have real active candor, and be honest with you on every aspect of your company is really, really encouraging to me, because I want to know, I want to work on what we're weak at. I want to see any areas that we're not doing well in, and see his perspective from a third party, because you can look at your own business and just see the good. It's good to have somebody who's done this with hundreds of companies, really look at your company, reflect on your company, and see little chinks in the armor to make sure you cover that up so your competition can't get to you, and that you're successful overall in the big picture. So yes, I would recommend Clay Clark because he is a great friend, a great encourager. To me, he's been a wonderful friend. He's also, you can tell he cares, and he has this wealth of knowledge. He's worked with so many different companies and different businesses. He could take a concept that he's used before in the past with somebody totally different industry and see how it would work perfectly for you in whatever niche market you're in or whatever type of service you're providing. And so his brain is just a wealth of knowledge, and just to have that type of perspective on, as a part of your team and your own company is huge, super valuable. So I would definitely encourage people to use him. But one thing is, you got to be coachable. You got to be wanting to get feedback. You got to be wanting to really grow your company. You got to want to put that extra 10 hours a week to working on your business and not just in your business. And so, yes, I would recommend it to anybody who's wanting to grow their company and provide great systems, checklists, workflows, great encouragement, and have accountability.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builders shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time. and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I mean, I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodruff Finishing, business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week, it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be, when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous. Just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, you know, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever is important. You know, my rich dad was one of those persons. I wanted to learn how to play Monopoly in real life. So he was my coach.